No shame.
1UP Games and Super 1UP Games, we've been around as a company for 8 years now.
Yeah.
Super 1UP Games is our recent addition in the last year, which it combines a video game store with a LAN center, room rentals, and arcades. So it's pretty much everything I've always wanted to do as a game store.
So how did the collection get started?
It started off with my personal collection.
Yeah.
I had a few games that I started to collect for my original Nintendo and my Sega Genesis. And then it sort of became sort of a little mini obsession. And then at one point I decided that I'm going to make my own video game store.
Right.
And decided to use my own collection at that point. I had a good 580 games maybe.
Nice.
And I started off with that and it just built up from there.
So do you have a lot of women who are coming in looking for games?
We're noticing more and more women. The demographic seems pretty slim compared to men.
Yeah.
And I find that the newer generation of women are more exposed to video games compared to an older generation like myself. So you'll find probably less women in my age group than you would if someone...
more like teenagers or in their 20s or...
teenagers, more teenagers, and yeah, girls in their 20s. Who, I would say N64 was a big period where a lot of girls got into video games, and I'm seeing more from that generation onward progressing.
Yeah. So of the women who do come in here, what kind of stuff are they interested in? Like, do they usually approach you with questions, or are they just browsing?
I don't find them. They're not any different than the men that come in looking for games. So you'll have some people looking for puzzle games or first-person shooter games. I'd say if it's a younger, if it's an older generation, I usually find them more particular with their games. Usually, I'd say like Tetris, Dr. Mario.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Bust a Move. I find a lot of girls are, from my generation play that, but or Mario. Everyone plays Mario. Yeah. But not many else, they wouldn't play much else.
Nice.
And then I find as the generations kept going, girls got exposed to a lot more games. And now it's just a mixed bag they're looking for.
But obviously there's still kind of, I don't know if you want to call it a cult, but some kind of really strong specific interest in all the retro games. So I was wondering why you think that is, and...
There's definitely a resurgence of old video games coming about. If you look at old video games, they had a classic style. The graphics might not be the best, but they were charming. They had their own style. The gameplay was pretty much what made the game, and a lot of people are realizing that. So I think what they're trying to do is equate the gameplay to these simple type of graphics, and that's how you get this resurgence of old, new games that look like old games.
So now that we're working on this project, part of the idea is, how do you get introduced to this world which has such a network of people who really know their stuff, who probably would prefer to play with other people who already know what they're doing. I'm kind of wondering, what's a good starting point if you don't have the skills but you are motivated enough to learn?
That's pretty tough. You said that you got into Zelda earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, so usually...
Pretty adventure type.
Yeah, I usually try to ask if what they started off with, what type of game. So Zelda, action adventure.
Yeah.
More one-player type of style.
I guess so.
Right. Yeah. Zelda's pretty unique, I would say. And even if people try to clone it, it's still the best version of that action adventure.
Okay.
The type, so it's
enough.
pretty unique.
Yeah.